I love these.
Illustrations by me.
So another art supply that I absolutely love that I never pick up and use on the channel, but I'm going to more on this one. But I used to pick them up all the time, and I just got out of that habit and I started not picking them up, and I don't even pay attention to them. But let me tell you, they are some of my favorite art supplies that I have ever used, and I'm going to start using them some more. First is they're the Graphitint line from Derwent, but first are the pans. So these pans are pretty cool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the painting with these pans. I'm going to start out just doing something, and then I'm going to take the corresponding pencils, which I have right here. There's not many in there. I think, what is this, a 24 set here, and this is the 12 set here. This is the original ones that I bought, 12 set. This is a 24 set. There's only 24. It's not bad, and they are amazing. They're wonderful pencils. If you like using pencil at all, like graphite, they work just like graphite when you first lay them down. They look like graphite. They seem like graphite, except they're a little colored. When you add a little bit of water to it, that's where the pop happens, and you can add subtle shading. You can add dense shading, but you can add very subtle hints of color, or you can change it up and make it wonderful. But so when I first got this set here, I absolutely loved it. It does come with this little brush here, but this is the other half of it. It's a water brush, but it's not the one that I'm used to using, and I haven't ever used it. But anyway, it has the 12 colors in here, and I thought, why? Why aren't you putting the other 12 colors? There's only 24 in the set. Surely you can make the other 12 colors into pans as well, but they've never done that for some reason. That's okay. That's going to be a big release one day, and I'm going to get it definitely. But I absolutely love these. They're muted tones. They're soft. It's so you can make them so subtle that you wouldn't even know that it was really there, except for people would look at it and say, what is that? It's like a slight little, and it'll be so wonderful. It's amazing. I absolutely love these. So I'm going to do a drawing with them and talk about some stuff. All right, let's get into it. All right, so the first thing I have to say is if you're going to use the pencils with the pans, you want to use the smoothest paper you can find that will accept water. So I use the hot press watercolor paper. You want a very smooth. So the Fluid 100 hot press is very smooth. It's very almost Bristol-like in its texture. That's what you want to use, or you can use like the Stillman and Burns Zeta series or something. You want something very smooth, almost like a plate, but you don't want, I mean, it can have a little tooth to it, but when I say a little tooth, I mean like a Bristol vellum, little bit of tooth, not like a tooth where you're looking at a cold pressed watercolor paper, because you want that pencil to get down in there, and you want to be able to get the water down in there to dissolve all of the pigment. And if you have rough pressed paper or you have cold pressed paper, it doesn't dissolve the pencil all the way. So it just depends on how smooth of an application you want. I always use the smoothest paper I can. This happens to be, this is the book that Christy Biddleson made for me, and she used the Fluid 100 watercolor paper in here because she knows that I like it, so that's what she used, and that's where it is right now. That's the that's what I'm using right now for this kind of medium. You can use other things, but I would suggest using a watercolor paper since you're going to be adding water to it. If you're not adding water to it and you're just putting the pencils on, then that's fine. You don't need to do that. But I don't like when the graphite gets off on the other page or when it comes off on your hands or anything like that. So I like to be able to scribble it out, wet it down, and then have it stick to the page. And that's why I like using these. Now the pans act like the watercolor. So they act like the water-soluble graphite. That's what they act. They don't act like watercolor so much. They don't really, they're not smooth. There's a lot of streakiness, a lot of lines. It's like painting with a pencil. It's not real smooth. And so, that's what I like about it. That's what I really enjoy about it, is that it gives me some texture. So if you're someone who likes to paint with texture, this is a wonderful thing to use, these graphite paints. I do like that. I really enjoy that. So I grab for, or used to grab for these all the time. I don't grab for them anymore, but I'm going to start doing that a little bit more. Now here's something interesting. I went looking on Amazon and I found the Kuretake has a graphite set. They have a 6-color liquid graphite set. Now I know there's some other ones. I know Schminke has some, and there's some other ones, but I've never really seen like a set that represents the full color spectrum. I've seen ones that have maybe a couple earth tones or a couple of sepia tones or something like that, but nothing really that represents. So it was very exciting when I saw the Kuretake. I'm gonna have to get them and compare them to these and see if they're similar, because I love using these. And the one thing I like about the Kuretake is that they have those giant pans, so you can put big brushes in there, and that's something I like to do. So, but either way, and I don't know, it's just pigment with graphite medium kind of thing in there. I don't know what the mediums are they use, and some of these are light fast, and some of these aren't light fast. I don't know what the Kuretake is. I have no idea. They always say the same thing. In every set that I've ever seen from them, they say, yeah, they're light fast, but they're light fast if you don't add a lot of water. Other companies say, oh no, this is light fast no matter, it doesn't matter what you use. It's light fast, a light fast color. And you see the people stick this stuff up in their windows in the hot desert sun for 6 months. And sometimes it's not a full strength swatch. Sometimes they water it out a little bit to see if any of the lighter shades fade. And they don't. But, the Kuretake is saying that theirs do if you add a lot of water. So, and it could be that they all fade with a little bit of water. I don't know. Listen, that's not entirely important so long as you're getting quality pigments that especially if you're going to be selling your work, that's very important. You get the quality pigments. You don't want to give something to someone and then in 6 months they can't use it. It just looks like a blob up on their wall. So that's important for that aspect. Everything else, the light fastness doesn't matter. You're going to put it in a sketchbook, it really doesn't matter. I love sketching with these. This is my favorite thing to sketch with, these water-soluble graphite pencils and pans, because they're quick, they're easy, they give me some texture like I've said, and that lets me know where to put my line work. So when I look at something, when I'm putting down a lot of color on a page, I'm not really paying attention to where I want to put my line work. I wait to see where the paint settles, and that's how I see how to do it. I'm going to do a video on that. But you can see here, when I did the pans and I put that down, you see all the streakiness? That lets me know exactly where to put my lines. And that's what makes it interesting to me. It's almost like it paints itself. I paint it out, and then it tells me where I need to add the detail. So that's a wonderful thing for me. I don't have to put too much thought into it. I just follow the cue of the paint. What is it telling me to do? And that's what I do. And that's what's interesting to me. Maybe it's not to you, that's fine, but that's what's interesting to me. A lot of people don't like that. They want smooth washes of color and things like that. And that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with that. Once in a while I'll do that. But I enjoy the splotchiness and the texture within the paint itself. So, and I don't know what happened here. I think I'm almost certain, I don't remember when I painted this. So, and I've had this painted for a few weeks. I don't know if it was a picture that I saw or one that I took. I think it might have been one that I took. And it was a photo of a frog. And this is how it developed. I made an abstract frog's head, and this is what it turned into. It's definitely not a frog's head, but that's what I was looking at. That was the inspiration that I had when I was doing this piece. I said, okay, there's a frog's head I'm looking at, and I started to make it in a very abstract way, and this is what I ended up with. I hope you enjoy what this looks like. I hope maybe you can make out where the frog's head would be. Maybe it looks like a smush. It looks like the frog got run over, but don't worry about that. The frog is fine. What happened was I went down, the dog had to go out, and I was recording a video, and I went downstairs and I opened the door, let the dog out, and there was a little frog on the door on the other side of the glass, and it was just looking at me. And I think this is the picture that I took of it, but it could be that I was, because I was also looking at other pictures of frogs to see what kind of frog this was. It was just a regular tree frog. It wasn't anything special. But I didn't know if it was a certain type of tree frog or whatever. So I was looking up what kind. I don't remember which picture I was looking at when I actually did this painting. I think it was the one I took. But I don't know. I'm not sure. Because this doesn't actually look like a frog head. So I have no idea which one this was that I was looking at. And I like to do that. I like to twist nature into something abstract when I paint. I like to take those references and say, oh look, that's a bird. Let's twist it this way and see if I can come up with a shape and a form that I enjoy, then add a little texture to it. Let's see if I can do that. Or I see trees and branches and roots and things like that. I love looking at plants. Plants are one of my favorite things to look at when I'm looking at trying to do something abstract. I'll just go for a walk in the park, take some pictures of plants, and I'll start doing some different things, because adding some texture to it. It gives me ideas of shapes and things like that, and textures. That's what I really get my inspiration from, most of the time anyway. Now here's the thing, I don't know if you get, but every once in a while I get stuck in a I only like to use this one thing kind of attitude, and I don't know what that is. Like sometimes I only use hot press paper. And I'll use the hot press paper exclusively for months on end, and that's what I like to use. And then I'll switch, and I'm oh yeah, I love this, I love this, I love this. And then I switch and I say, yeah, you know, I want to do a painting in a cold press just to do something, or a rough press, and I do it. And all of a sudden it's like something clicks in my head and I'm like, oh wait, no, I really love this. This is what I want to do. And then I use that one for months on end. And then it gets to the point where I say, you know what, I want to do something with a pencil or something. Let me go to a hot press, and then all of a sudden, oh no, I got to do the hot press now. I don't know what that is with me. But whatever it is that I'm using at the time is the thing that I think is the best thing at the time. And as soon as I change to something else, now that's the best thing. That's why I have such a problem with favorites. People are always doing the favorite thing with me. Hey, what's your favorite this, or what's your favorite that? Don't ask me that. I have no idea what my favorite is, because it'll be different today than it was tomorrow, which means it obviously wasn't my favorite yesterday. So I don't know what happened. I like things and I don't like things. And I really like things and I really don't like things. It's like 4 different things for me. Sometimes I like something, sometimes I really like it. Sometimes I don't, sometimes I really don't. And that's about it. They're just degrees of separation, and that's really where it goes with me. That's about it. So let me know, what about you? How are you with that kind of stuff? Do you have favorites of things that are always your favorites? Or do you have things that are just sometimes they are your favorite and other times something else is your favorite? How is it with you? Because I know how it is with me, and sometimes it's annoying. I'm annoying myself sometimes because I'm thinking, no, this is the thing that I want. And then, no, that's really not the thing I end up wanting the next time. It's just a strange thing, and I think I know what I'm going to pick until I do something else, and then I realize, oh no, wait, I want to do that other thing. So it's different for everybody, I know, but for me, it's a little bit annoying sometimes. You know, it's just sometimes. It just annoys me a little bit. And I'll tell you what doesn't annoy me. It's these people popping up on the screen right now. They are always my favorite. This is the one constant in my life. I could say these are some of my favorite people. And that's just the truth. So thumb up the video if you're going to try to do some of this graphite paint stuff. If you're going to try it, give it a try, let me know. Come back here or go on a different video. Let me know you tried it. Let me know what you think about it, because I love the graphite paint stuff. I don't know why, it's just something I like. And if you're more into drawing, you use the pencils and do that stuff. If you're more into painting, you use the pans and do more of that stuff. Or you mix them up like I did here, which is my favorite way to use them. Here I go again. It's my favorite way to use them only because I can tune everything exactly the way that I want to. But I'm sure next week it won't be my favorite way to use them, and I'll use them a different way. Alright, if you would like to join our community, go to illustrationsbypete.com. You can come in, you can put your own artwork on the site and promote it. You can find some inspiration in the free reference photos. You can just use them however you want in your artwork. You do not need to credit me. or you can come into the forums and talk to some people and maybe give some advice and maybe find a little bit of information that helps you. So come check us out. All right, that's about it for me. I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.